siblings came and we all went into uni because they were also at home for many years.
Yeah.
So it was 5 years of, I would say, a wilderness season. And during that wilderness season, I had seasons of rebellion, I had seasons of depression. But eventually, when I realized that's when I knew God. Let me tell you, I haven't talked about this, but I had encounters with God.
Yeah.
Like, there are things I can tell people,
Yeah.
and they'll say, no, Ma, you're exaggerating. Like, I had encounter. I'm not talking like Sunday morning in the middle of the worship is powerful.
Yeah.
No, I mean like miraculous encounters with God.
Yeah.
During that time, my life became God and God alone. My life became prayer.
Welcome to our Bridge podcast. My name is William, and it's an honor and a privilege to be with a special guest who you are going to see shortly. She will do much of the talking while I'll be doing much of the listening. Reason why I'm deciding it that way, it's because she has a lot of inspiring stories and testimonies. So, Maya, I welcome you to our Bridge podcast.
Thank you, William, and thank you, everyone who's watching from wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you. So Maya is a gospel communicator, but she's also a worship leader. I know her. I've seen her worship God. She sings like angels, you know? And sometimes I wonder why God did not give other people the gift of singing. Because some of us don't sing. Like me, if I'm to sing, many people would actually leave church and go away. Because I sing like a donkey. So, but anyway, it's good. And if you are not gifted like me, the good news is when we make it to heaven, we'll sing.
We'll be great singers.
We'll be great singers. Yeah. So, Maya, today I want to talk about some of those things that happened to us. And while they were happening, they sounded to be like the end of the world. But we had no idea that God was going to use those same moments to change us. So I want to hear from you. What are those things that happened to you? And your life was miserable. You felt hopeless. But at the same time, God used those same moments to change your life and to change your story.
Yeah.
Please share with us.
Thank you. There are a lot of such moments, maybe some key moments, but one particular one has come to mind. So I grew up in as a refugee actually in Zambia. My family was there for they're still there actually, but I was there for 18 years.
18.
So I went there as a 4-year-old and grew up there. I spoke the language. I went to school there, and I remember I graduated high school with a lot of hope for life, for the future after high school. And I gave my life to Christ in like what you'd call senior 5, and the Lord really just shifted my life. I became top of my class. It's a testimony. So when I was finishing high school, I had this idea of what my life would be after school. I thought, like every other young person, I'm going to graduate. I will apply to university, get into a good university, do my degree, finish my degree, get a job, and so on and so forth. So I had my life really planned out.
Yeah.
And the first thing, so the results came out after some months, and I did extremely well. Like I I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so...
Among the top.
Yes, I was among the top. Like every time I went to a university to ask for admission, they would look at my grades and they were like, wow, wow. They just looked at me. However, when I finished high school, that's when I learned about the realities of being a refugee and being a foreigner. Because up until that point, I never really lived with that. Okay, I knew I was from another country, but I felt like I would have a life like everyone else. So then I realized I couldn't go to university, the good universities, which because of the fact that, one, I wasn't eligible for a scholarship because of my status. Two, my parents had to pay more because international students pay more in all the private universities.
So
and
were
public
you in
ones.
a refugee camp or you were...
Earlier on, we were in a refugee camp when I was very young, but I think we left when I was like 5.
Okay.
I think the reality just set in as my father just sat me down and told me, I want to tell you the truth. I don't know if you're gonna go to university because of the fact that my situation, my financial situation, and I can't hide it from you. And he told me, and he's someone who loved us going to school. He really did. He worked so hard and he taught us to value education. So then I think for me it was such a rude awakening. So anyway, but then I decided, instead of sitting home, let me do a course, these short courses or like a diploma program. So I enrolled for a diploma program because I was very good in math. I did accounting. So it was like a 1.5 year diploma post-secondary. So I did that and I again emerged top of that class.
Wow.
So then I said, okay, with this one, at least I can get a job. I can get a job and then work my way and take myself to school, maybe study in the evening and work during the day. That was my plan. Then I realized I couldn't get a work permit. Get a work permit because in Zambia, like many countries, to get a work permit, you have to have done something that is very needed. Like the locals don't have that skill.
What is happening in Tanzania? That foreigners are not supposed to do small businesses, which Tanzanians are doing themselves. Unless you do something that is different. Yeah.
So like, for example, so I went for a number of interviews after graduating, and every time they would find out about my status, I couldn't work. I couldn't get the job. So after trying a few times, I gave up. And I found myself now saying, after staying home a bit, I said, I'll do anything, any job. So a lady came up to me and she said she wants to start a hair salon. And she told me, I know you're very overqualified for this, but would you be willing to work in a hair salon? And at that point I said, you know what? It's all right. I'll do whatever. I worked in a kitchen. There was a kitchen, like
as
a catering.
No,
I was actually, I wasn't a cook. I was like an aide to the cooks.
Wow.
Because I wasn't even a cook. So I did that. And then I also worked in the hair salon. It was for the same lady. Basically, I did a lot of viraka. I did... and I think during that time, I was working at the salon. I met some of my former high school friends. This is like maybe 3 years into after high school. And they were shocked because no one expected me, who was there, the one top of their class, to be working in a salon after, that. And I think it hit me at some point like, oh my goodness, this is going to be my life. Like I might have to do odd jobs or because I don't have a degree. And this is a degree, an economy that is really focused on it. Like you have to have at least a bachelor's degree. So my dad at that time advised me to stay home a bit because he said, even if you're working in that salon, I don't think, that type of experience is good for your CV. It's not going to take you anywhere. But me, I wanted the money. And so he advised me to say, no, just hang around. We'll find something for you to do. And it was also around the time of the economic recession. 2008.
That was a bad time.
It was a really tough time. So like things at home were tough. My dad is an engineer. He's a land surveyor. So that time contracts, like people wouldn't call him for work. They were not calling him for business because obviously when there's an economic recession, the last thing you want to do is hire a surveyor. Right? Like
because you are struggling. You want food for your family. You can't higher search.
Exactly. So now things at home became really bad.
Yeah.
I was not doing anything. This is 4 years into me finishing school. Then, unfortunately, I think the despair just hit me. I felt like I've just come to the end. And guess what option I considered? Marriage.
Oh.
Marriage, not a marriage as a way out.
Yeah.
As a way out, I'm 21 at this time.
Yeah.
And this guy approaches me. He's much, much older than me, like 12 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I see him, he's like, I think this man can take care of me. And I'm thinking, if I marry a Zambian, I will be able to get
Yeah.
to get a citizenship and
Yeah.
not be a foreigner.
It's
But-
better to be a refugee.
Yeah. So then I thought, okay, maybe let me just get married. And this person was very serious. He wanted to get married. And I seriously considered it, but my dad was against it. He was like,
No.
my daughter, no. Don't be so desperate.
Yeah.
But I was desperate, very desperate.
I'm depressed.
I was depressed. So I got to a point where I really suffered from depression.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot of weight. I used to cry every night.
Yeah.
I had this constant sadness and despair. At that time, I didn't know that was what depression is. So I'm 21, and then my turning point comes when, during that time, I also backslid, by the way. I also backslid because I think my faith was also shaken. I was like, God, like, this is all there is. You know, I was still a young Christian. So for me, when life is hard, you know, I was like, I have to find my way out, my own way out.
You
So
have to
during
fight.
that time.
God has failed to fight for you.
Exactly.
So I have to fight for myself.
I have to fight for myself. And, but during that time, my turning point was coming back to God,
Yeah.
repenting. And you know what I decided to do? I decided to serve in church. I became like a full-time
Minister.
minister
Yet for a volunteer.
as a volunteer. I was at church on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And of course, you know, in church, when you're a volunteer, they'll give you things to do. They
Yeah.
can't fail to find things
Yeah.
to do. You know?
Church is always busy.
Always busy. So I started serving. I started leading the youth worship team. I think it was. I was serving there. I was there. Even when there was no service, during the day when the church was closed, I'd be inside praying by
I think
myself.
there we share the same story there. Because it happened to me like that. I was forced to stay in the church
Yes.
because I had no any other option.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So I just became a church person. Do you know what? That is where my ministry of worship started.
That is where God found
That's
me
where God found me.
and gave me a job also
Really?
in the church.
Wow.
I was depressed
Uh-huh.
and I had lost hope.
Yeah.
It's a long story. I actually put it in my book. I wrote a book, The Season of Betrayal and the Power of $2. I put that story there.
Wow.
And I
You
was
have to give me that book. I need to read it.
I will. So I was depressed.
Yeah.
And the only option that was available for me was to be in the church.
Yeah.
So I would serve on Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, every day with no pay.
With no pay, yeah.
Actually, with no one coming to me saying, thank you for serving.
Sometimes you're coming and you're hungry and you haven't eaten.
I had one shoe, which was like you remember the story in the Bible? Is it Jonah who was swallowed by a fish? My shoe was like the same fish.
It was like that. It was wide open like
Wide
this.
open up front,
Oh my goodness, those were days. But the Lord really, that was when my faith was formed.
Yeah.
That was when my faith was formed. That is when I heard the voice of God saying, I have called you and you're going to be a minister to the nations. I'm going to give you, he told me, you're going to be a voice of hope.
A voice of hope.
A voice of hope. That was the prophecy that was said over me on one Sunday morning.
Amen.
So this is like now 2011 and I'm 22 and I'm very content at that point being in church. The Lord just gave me so much favor. I was serving, leading and then that's when I got another prophecy that said I was going to cross over into a new season. And this person said, I'm seeing you crossing over a body of water.
Wow.
So you see, young people, when they hear that, they're hearing
America.
overseas.
Canada. Europe.
You know, honestly, for me, I thought it was marriage.
Yeah.
I thought it was marriage. That was the only thing that was at that point, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I wanted to go to uni, but I think at that point I was contented being married, which the marriage is wonderful. But like for me, it was like the only thing that was coming to my mind. So then shortly after that, an uncle of mine came from Burundi, came to visit us for the first time. And during that time, my dad said to me, do you want to go to Burundi and visit and then maybe come back?
Because yes, you are a refugee, but you didn't have like any life experience in Burundi.
In Burundi,
Because
I
you
didn't
left
know
when
anything.
you were-
I didn't even speak Kirundi. So he tells me, and immediately says, my heart says, this is what they meant.
Yeah.
So it's a very long story, but in short, I ended up coming back to Burundi, and guess what? I came by ship.
Oh, Lake Tanganyika.
Yes, Lake Tanganyika. I came by ship, and then I landed in Burundi. And from that moment, I found a university that was opening for the first time in Burundi, an English-speaking university.
Oh my God.
And they only had one program, which was the program I have always wanted to study. I had applied, but it was so expensive back in Zambia. And the only program they had was leadership, organizational leadership. So I enrolled, and my student number was 0001 because I was the first
you were
student.
number one. Oh my God.
And that is how I started a new journey. And that same month, I met my husband
Yeah.
in
Fabrice.
Burundi. Yes, Fabrice. And my ministry, everything, my life changed with just that moment of coming back to my home country, which wasn't really a better off place in terms of the economy. But because I'm English speaking and what I got a job also later with KCB Bank, which was coming for the first time. And my life just started. I enrolled into university. My dad paid the first semester, and then the rest I paid myself. And then my siblings came and we all went into uni because they were also at home for many years.
Yeah.
So it was 5 years of, I would say, a wilderness season. And during that wilderness season, I had seasons of rebellion, I had seasons of depression. But eventually when I realized that's when I knew God. Let me tell you, I haven't talked about this, but I had encounters with God.
Yeah.
Like, there are things I can tell people,
Yeah.
and they'll say, no, Ma, you're exaggerating. Like, I had encounter. I'm not talking like Sunday morning in the middle of the worship is powerful.
Yeah.
No, I mean like miraculous encounters with God.
Yeah.
During that time, my life became God and God alone. My life became prayer and church and what. And that was when the Maya was born. During that desert, wilderness, hopeless place, after just surrendering to God instead of surrendering to the despair. So,
Wow. This reminds me of a scripture in the Bible that says, crying may go on for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
joy comes in the morning.
So God was looking up to you, every movement you are making. But he kept quiet.
Yes.
Even when you are struggling, he kept quiet because he had a better gift for you.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had stayed in Zambia and
My
just
life would have been so
picture
different.
yourself married at 21
I know.
with the guy.
By the way, the guy ended up being a very bad person. I didn't know this.
You would be dead man now.
I'm telling you.
So God
And people were
amazing.
telling me, Maya, no, this is not for. And I was so decisive, but my dad was not okay with it. And so I'm so glad I didn't settle for that, because I met the love of my life, who I would have never pictured myself being with someone like that. But like, everything is, I realized that even that 5 years wasn't wasted.
Yeah.
It was to prepare me for who God wanted me to be.
And sometimes when you find yourself in the wilderness, most of the times that's when God speaks to you.
Yes.
This reminds me of my time in the prison in Burundi.
No, you went to prison.
Yeah, I was.
You have adventures.
I was put in prison in Burundi for 7 days. Centre de documentation.
Oh my God.
Place of no return.
Oh my goodness.
So for the first time, God spoke to me in an audible voice in Burundi. And surprisingly, he spoke to me in English. 2 times. I would look around, there's nobody. It was God. Because I knew for sure I was going to die, and I considered myself dead. And during that moment, that's when God appeared to me in a voice.
Wow.
He spoke to me in a voice, and when I opened my eyes, the same voice, whatever he spoke to me, was engraved on the wall. God works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way for you.
Amen.
That was engraved on the wall.
Wow.
So, anyway, thank you, Maya. It's always a blessing to have you.
Thank you.
We are going to invite you again so that you can share many more stories with us. Somebody who is right there, struggling, going through tough times. You may be hopeless today. You are actually worried about tomorrow. Listen, the same God who saved Maya, the same God who saved me, and the same God who is saving you right now is not dead.
Amen.
He's going to rescue you one day, and he will turn your cry into joy. God bless you. We see you another time.